Today our subject is a game originating in East Africa that spread all over the world through Arab trade routes, captivating ancient minds for centuries, and then was later introduced to the Americas through the Atlantic slave trade when African peoples were forced to leave their homes and brought some of their culture with them through games, with just under 200 different varieties being played by under 100 different countries, and a history that could very well be older than Islam. Today, we will be exploring the history and gameplay behind the category of games known as Mancala.
Wow.
Are you ready for this?
I thought I was.
This is one of those that, so quick, insider baseball, right? In little bit of inside knowledge for the people that are for the people at home. We thought that this was going to be one of those episodes, kind of like a grab all, just a couple little mini games.
A couple little games, easy to explain and fun to do.
And then I start researching this. And yesterday I stayed home from work. My wife was sick. And I spent all day researching this.
Wow.
And I realized how important this game is.
You went deep.
Deep.
Wow.
So, first of all, I want to ask you what your knowledge of Mancala is.
Very little. We've mentioned before a small little... Is it even an app? It's called Game Pigeon.
Yeah.
You add it to your messages on the Apple iPhone, and you can play a variety of games through the SMS messaging system. Yeah. Is one of the S's stand for system? Probably. Something messaging system is probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I never learned how to play it. I played it a couple times on there.
Yeah.
Don't know if I won or lost. Doesn't matter because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And that's it.
All right. Well, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead, man. I'd also like to point out our old buddy Valjean will be with us today.
Our old pal, your doggo.
Yeah, my one and only.
Your little man.
My only dog.
Yeah, your only dog. You only have one. Here he is. Oh, what's up, buddy? So, he needs to make some like real noise so that people don't think that we're just
making it up.
Yeah, that would be so. Oh, wait.
I even have like his.
Did
the mic definitely caught. Oh, yeah. I also have his squeaky toys over here. What if I just randomly was like,
"Oh, there's Valjean."
Yeah, just making it up. No, he's real.
Anyway. Yeah, he's real. Okay. Anyway, so first of all, I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
So, which Broadway musical that was released in 2019 that is based in Depression era, maybe New York?
Okay.
Not really specified. Just a Depression era area, right? That is based off of the Greek tragedy of Orpheus and Eurydice. Would be your favorite?
Actually, out of all the musicals that I do know of, there's only one that's based off of the Orpheus Eurydice story.
Really? Here,
go ahead.
Can I take this one?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know what you have to say, but I'll just go first.
Go ahead.
Hades Town would be my favorite.
Okay.
All right. So
same as me.
Same?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have another one?
No, I think that's the only one I know that's based off that story.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, yeah, with that, I mean, nice little segue right into our topic.
Yeah.
So Mancala is a really popular game. I think that it's popular in the Americas. But like me growing up, it was like math class. That's where we kind of learned how to play Mancala, which is
really
what we called it. Right?
That's very fun.
Yeah, it is very fun.
You went to a good school.
And Mancala isn't even a game. Mancala is a category of games.
Okay.
So there are hundreds of different Mancala variations.
You mentioned that.
And they're all in this family of 2-player turn-based strategy games.
Okay.
Sometimes called like Pit and Pebble, because you have a little pit and you have some pebbles in there. Sometimes called Count and Capture, because you have to count and capture things. And yeah, there are a multitude of different versions of the game. And saying to someone, "Let's play Mancala,"
doesn't really
literally means something equivalent to let's play cards.
Okay.
Like you could say that, but people would be like, okay, what kind, right? Obviously, here in the States, everybody would just think of Kala, which is the game that I know it's confusing. Mancala and Kala. Kala
is this technically. So this is a version of Mancala, obviously.
This is a version of Mancala.
That's right in front of us.
Yes, but
that we're going to play.
This right here is a Mancala board. I forgot what they're called. I think it's called an olobone, I think. And this is a 2x6 olobone, I think is what it's called. I really hope that's what it's called. And many different versions of Mancala can be played on this board. So I'm going to show you the way that I learned how to play it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to explain some variations that I think are way more fun and interesting.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So before we get into that, how about I'll ask you, do you want to learn about the history first, or do you want to learn how to play the game first?
Let's keep going with the history.
Okay. So from what I know, from what research I did, the earliest evidence of Mancala I could find was in a Roman spa and kind of game room in this place called Gadara in Israel. And there was a bunch of different sorts of games that were found there, but one of them was like Mancala little pits, carved into the benches there.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I should probably say to anybody who's never played Mancala before, let me explain what the board looks like.
Describing it?
Yeah.
You want me to do that?
Yeah, explain it.
So this particular one was folded in half, and then Holden opened it up to reveal on both sides they're identical. It's
wooden.
It's wooden. There are 6 little pits and then a big pit on the ends. So 6 on either side of the hinges in the middle, obviously, which doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And then 2 big pits on the end. And you've set up these little they're stones, but they look kind of like beans or chocolate covered raisins, like you said.
Yep. Like I said.
And you organize them to where there's 4 in each of the small pits.
Yes.
And 0 in the end long pits.
So the way that we would call it is the pits are called houses.
Okay.
And the end ones,
chambers,
are called the score. Okay, or scores. Okay. And some Mancala boards won't have these scores on them. Some of them some of them, so mine opens so that it's I don't know how to put it. So it's a rectangle. And some of them are with hinges. They're split down the middle of the rectangle, would that be hamburger style?
This one
would be hamburger style.
Yeah.
And then some of them are hot dog style.
Really?
And they go together.
Wow. So it's like landscape portrait kind of thing.
Yeah. And I actually am planning on getting another one.
Really?
And I bought, we'll go into the history of it. I bought some stuff that I'm super excited for.
Hey, you're excited about this, and I am too.
Yeah. So there's also tons of early evidence from Africa. So many that I can't even get into a specific one. There's so much
evidence of
Mancala.
Oh, okay. Things. Just being played anciently.
Mancala is one of those games, are one of those games, I guess you would say, because it's a lot of different games, where if you have enough time, you could just carve it into the stone.
Yeah.
And then go pick up some nuts and just play it.
Little pebbles or something.
You could just do anything.
Anywhere.
Right? I should also say that these chocolate-covered raisins in here, they're called seeds.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's what they're called. And there was actually a really, really interesting sort of documentary that I watched on Mancala, where this guy from Anguilla.
Okay.
Anguilla. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's it's a Caribbean island which is just off of Africa. And no, that's Cape Verde. It's just a Caribbean island.
Okay.
Sorry, there's 2 different islands. There's a lot of history here.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And in there, when the Atlantic slave trade was going on, there was a lot of African slaves that were brought to Anguilla, and they played a version of this game called Oware, which we will play.
Okay.
Because it's fun. I'll at least show you how to play it.
All right.
And the reason why it became so big there is because it was the only fun thing that they could do without the plantation people getting upset with them, because you can kind of hide it. And some of the other things they like to do was like play drums and sing and all that. But when they would do that, they would get stopped.
Yeah, no soundproofing equipment.
And so this game is huge there because of that influence in the culture.
Just deep rooted.
Yeah. There was also evidence of the game in Eastern Europe in some other different forms, but it never really caught on in Western Europe. I don't know why. Maybe because of chess was such a big thing there. I don't know. And basically the reason why Mancala is here is because of the African slave trade that brought everything over. And there were some peoples in like Louisiana that played a version of the game called Wari, which they played for a long, long time. There's some people in New England that are...
Valjean found my water bottle.
Great.
I'm going to go grab that.
Yeah, go grab that really quick.
And we're back.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you're welcome. You were in the middle of telling me about the slave trade.
Well,
in a sense.
Yeah. It's just really sad, man.
Yeah,
I was researching this. I got pretty down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that now is a good time. Basically, what I was going to say was that there was this group in New England that were immigrants from this place called, I think, Cape Verde, which I think in French would be Verde, I think. And it's an archipelago off the western coast of Africa, and they played a certain game there called Uri. I don't know how to pronounce it, but that's still played to this day there by the immigrants.
A version of Mancala.
Yes, a game of Mancala. Okay. Right? And yeah, so every kind of Mancala plays on a board.
Okay.
With holes, with seeds in them. Period.
Okay.
That's kind of like the thing.
That's the identifying feature of a Mancala game.
Yeah. There is this one in Vietnam that they don't have literal holes. They just have like squares that they put their stones on, but
the same
sort of function. Yeah, honestly.
Easier, really.
Honestly. The most common version of this game in the US is called Kala. Like I said, it was created by this dude named William Julius Champion Jr.
Sweet.
In 1940. He just made a game.
Okay.
And it's kind of like the sentiment that I've heard from like the African community, like literal African community, is that Kala is kind of for babies.
Okay.
Like it's not,
like it's the white version.
Not so much. It's more like they're like, yeah, but there's no real strategy.
Oh.
It's not even like a real game.
Yeah. You know? It's nothing like the OG.
Yeah. So in Africa, the games that are played are most likely going to be Oware and Ayo.
Okay.
Okay. And what's he chewing on?
I don't know. Valjean, how do you find the loud?
Oh, is that
That's a button chunk.
Yes.
What are you doing, dude? How does he find the loudest?
Yeah.
This looks important. Okay,
so Oware and Ayo are seen as more legitimate, right? They're played in tournaments.
Oh, wow.
It's like a big deal.
Yeah.
I heard this in a separate documentary that I watched about this. I heard this. I think that he might have been Nigerian. He was like a vegetable salesman. And he was like, this game is our culture. This is what we do, you know? And I think that it's one of those things to where as Americans, we're kind of cut off to the culture of Africans. And I don't know why, because we seem to be so interested in the culture of so many other places. But in Africa, we just don't seem to care. And this game has really helped me to appreciate at least one part of their culture, which is really, really interesting to me and really meaningful. So there's another game called Bao, which we will not talk about today. I might do a whole other episode on Bao because it's completely different.
Okay.
It's still a Mancala game, but it is wild.
Just really.
It's played in East Africa. Yeah, and it's definitely a part of the Mancala family. So yeah, I'm going to use this board. It is a Kala board, so just a Mancala board. It's 2x6, and it works for the 3 games that I want to talk to you about today. Right. So we're going to use this. And yeah, so during each of our turns.
Yes.
That is my Snickers.
Precious Snickers almond.
Yeah.
Valjean almost
the best
got
Snickers almond. The way that you play pretty much any kind of Mancala is you sow seeds. That's what it's called, right? So you pick up all of the seeds in a hole.
Okay.
And then you take them and drop them one at a time into the next holes.
Okay. Going
in a certain direction. Some games play clockwise, some games play counterclockwise. For this game, Kala, we're going to play counterclockwise.
Okay.
So we're always going to move to the right. There are a few rules when it comes to like how you win the game, right? Okay. Different Mancala games have different ways in which you win games. In this one, you want to get as many seeds in your score as possible. You want more than half, right? Because if you have more than half, you win.
You win.
Okay. So one of the reasons why this game is seen as not strategically viable in a way is because of there's one specific rule that kind of makes it different. And that is if I take my seeds, which I'm going to right now.
Your 4.
Okay. My 4. And I put them 1, 2, 3, 4, and my last seed ends in my score, I get to move again.
Oh.
Okay. So now I'll grab this one and I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Another thing that I should mention is that these are yours. The ones, the 6 that are on facing you.
Okay.
You would be the north player in this situation. I'd be the south player.
Okay.
The north seeds are yours. Those are the only ones that you can grab from. The south seeds are mine. These are the only ones that I can grab from.
Didn't know about that.
Okay.
All right.
And then as you go, you will go around onto my side.
Yeah.
And we'll just keep doing this. Okay. One more thing I should mention is, well, actually, you make a move really fast.
All right.
I think that's going to be the best way.
I'm going to grab these 5 seeds. Oh, drop them all. And then I'm going to slowly drop.
Yep.
One at a time. And hopefully.
Yep. You ended in your score. So now you get to
my
go.
My favorite
again.
bean.
Yep.
I get to go again. I think I'm going to take these folks here.
Okay. Take those and you're going to move them down. So this is the way that the game is played in Kala. The last rule that I will mention for Kala is that if I take my seeds and I'm sowing and the last seed that I have lands on a space that doesn't have any seeds in it.
So the last seed.
The very last seed in my hand lands on an empty house on my side of the board. I get to capture all the seeds that are on your opposing house.
Okay.
The one that's directly in front of that.
Okay.
Okay. So I landed in my score, and then I have one more seed right here at the very end, so I can put that in and then go again. Right?
Okay.
This is the way the game works. I don't think that we need to play a full game.
Okay. So you capture all 5 of these?
No, I don't. I was just saying if I did. But I had
because
5.
your last one.
I had 5. I went here and then I went again, and now I actually get to move again. But
I see.
But yeah, that's the way that you gain a lot of advantage in this game, is because there's this thing called building a house, which is where you. Was there something on my lap? Is where you. Sorry, I was talking about Valjean. You put as many seeds as you can into one house, so that way you can just spread them all out. And in other Mancala games, it's a lot more strategically viable to do that than in this game.
Okay.
But sometimes it'll just happen, and then you'll have 12 plus seeds in your house, and you don't see that I'm coming by, and I drop mine in, and I just take all of those, which can just be devastating, right? So this is the game that I bet everybody thinks of when I say Mancala.
Right.
I want to read the rules one more time just so that I make sure I'm not missing anything.
Okay.
No, yeah, I'm not missing anything. So the thing about Kala is that it's what game strategists call a fixed game. So that means that if I start and we both play a strategically perfect game, I will always win. Whoever starts always wins if the game is played perfectly.
Okay.
Which playing perfectly isn't that hard because you just have to memorize the way that it goes.
The most ideal.
So you can't play this game in a tournament because everybody would just know what's up.
First wins.
It would just be rock, paper, scissors at that point, right? And so that's why when I was doing this and I learned that, I was like, oh, well, then I want to learn other games, right? There is one thing that you can do to fix that. It's called the pie rule.
Okay.
The pie rule goes like this. If I make my move, my first move, I then, I guess it's surrender to my opponent. My opponent can either say, I want to play as you now.
Okay.
Or they can say, no, I'll just play as me.
Okay.
Okay.
After your first move.
After my first move.
Okay.
This is also done in some chess tournaments.
Oh.
Because white has an advantage in certain openings and black has an advantage in certain openings. And so you'll play your first two moves and then black, well, I mean, if you have an advantage as black because your opponent played something stupid, then you would just say, I'll stay. But if your opponent plays something that obviously gives them a huge advantage, you can say, I want to play white, right?
And screw them up.
Screw them up, right? This is also a thing in Go, but that gets a little bit more complicated because it has to do with how many points your captures are worth in Go. We won't get into that.
Yeah.
But the next game that I wanted to talk to you about is called Oware.
Oware.
And it is, these next two games I'm kind of obsessed with.
Okay.
They're so strategically
dense. Do we
dense.
put 4 back in each?
4 back in each one.
Okay.
And what I'm really curious about is that if some point during this podcast time, right, if we had some Africans listening, I would be so interested to talk to them about this because it seems like a really big deal down there.
Okay.
And I watched a lot of videos on this, and a lot of them were saying, like, I don't know why nobody else in the world plays these games. They're huge here. It's a beautiful game. We love it, right?
Interesting.
Yeah. So there are the thing about Oware and also Ayo, the two probably biggest Mancala games in Africa, is that they have specific rules, and depending on where you're from, they can be different.
Okay.
And you can call, if there was like a specific, this is the actual rule book for Oware, somebody could call it Ayo, and that's just what they call it in that city.
Oh.
And that's it, right? And so Oware is played in Ghana and in the Caribbean. That's most of the places where it's played. It's a Mancala style game. 2 rows, 6 houses on each one, just like this, right? And we'll just go into how it's played.
All right.
So Oware is different because when I pick up my pieces, I never... This is something that's really important that I forgot to mention about Kala.
Okay.
No, I guess
whatever.
Just suffer. Is that as you're going, when you pick up your pieces, you drop seeds into your score, and then as you're going around, you don't drop seeds into your opponent's score.
Oh.
Does that make sense? So if I pick up 5 seeds on my board, and I'm on the very rightmost... actually, let's say that I pick up 12, right?
Okay.
If I pick up 12 and I'm on the very rightmost, so like the southeast corner, right? I pick that up, I drop 1 in my score, go around, not drop 1 in your score, keep going, and then if I had another one, I'd drop it in my score, right? And I'd keep going like that. And then you would drop yours.
You drop it in my houses, but not my score.
Yes, exactly. In Oware and pretty much every other Mancala game that I've heard of, you don't drop it in your score.
Okay.
And you just go around.
Okay.
Okay. So I pick up mine, go around, and then I'm done.
Okay.
So I each turn is going to be like this. There's no you go again sort of a thing.
Okay. That's a Kala specific
rule.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a
So not a wade. Okay, so now you would make your turn.
I do this.
Yep.
And then I drop them 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we keep going like this.
All right.
And when there is a score to be made,
thanks.
I will go like, haha, I did it, and you didn't know any better, so now I'm awesome. Yeah. You suck. Yes. Right? Something that's kind of interesting about this is that I remember learning how to play Mancala in my math class, and then some kid that I knew was like, I learned how to play it this way. And I was like, that's stupid.
You were like, well, we learned this way, so
you're wrong. And it turns out that he was playing Io. He was playing a right.
Oh, really?
Like a correct,
like a
well-known version of Mancala.
Like a true African gentleman.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he probably wasn't African. He just probably had learned.
Yeah, he had just learned it a different way from a different, more cultured math teacher that knew how games...
That knew the history of Mancala, which is kind of asking based. A lot in the States because...
Yeah. So now, this is when things get a little dicey, okay?
All right.
Okay, just hear me out, okay?
All right.
I now have pieces in my hand.
How many?
7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9.
Okay? And I'm going into your area.
Okay.
And I'm dropping seeds in.
1, 2.
Like this.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Actually, it's fine. You keep going. Okay. Now I'm going to think for a little bit because I'm going to let you in on how this works.
All right.
If my last seed ends...
That you drop?
That I drop.
Okay.
Ends in one of your houses that has 1 or 2 seeds in it, I get to capture.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm going to try and see, because you have a house that has 2 in it right now, right? So now I'm going to count out my pieces and see if I can have one that lands there.
Yeah.
So in this house, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is way too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, doesn't work. So I guess I will just go like this.
Okay.
You can go.
All right. And now I'm going to try to count.
Exactly.
There's a ton in this house right here.
So we'll see if it works out.
So this looks scary. And I might even just,
So that's the thing, is that you're trying to not only keep your pieces from being vulnerable in that you have 1 or 2 in them, and you're also trying to land on your opponents there, which makes it way more strategic than the other versions of the game, right?
Yeah. And I don't think I can land on your house that has 2.
Yeah, so you're just going to...
But I'm going to leave you a house that has 1.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a choice, really.
No, you have to pick up everyone.
No, I know.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. Like, I can't really... Unless I took the 2 out, which maybe I should have done, but...
Well, there's no way that I can get that, so I'm just going to keep going.
All right.
Another thing about this game is that there are things called grand slams.
Okay.
Literally.
Am I allowed to just...
Yeah, you're allowed. So a grand slam is when you... Let's say that for some reason you only had 1 to 2 seeds in every single one of your houses.
Okay.
And I had enough that it would end at the end of yours. This is where things get crazy.
Okay.
If my last seed lands in a house of yours that has 2 seeds in it, I take that. Then I check the one before that. If that one also had 2 seeds in it.
Not 1 or 2, but just 2 or?
1 or 2.
Okay.
I also take that
across the board.
Across the board. All the way across. Okay. Until there's one that didn't have 2 before it. Okay. So that's an illegal move. You can't do that.
Okay.
Because it would leave your opponent without anything to do.
Oh, because his houses would be empty.
Yeah, his houses would be completely empty.
All right.
So you have to play. It's like a gentleman's sort of game where it's like, you know what? You have to make a move, kind sir. So I'm not going to do that, which I really, really like.
Yeah. No, that's good. It's like a stalemate.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm going to just do the easy thing.
All right.
Move this one across and take these.
And you take 2.
Okay, so now I have 2, and now it's your turn.
My turn again. Unless
this one can land there.
We're going to find out.
I know that this is another one
Stay
of those
tuned.
games that's hard to conceptualize
a strategy
in audio form.
Oh.
Yeah. And also, I was actually kind of... Oh, did you do it?
Oh.
Nice. So now you take
So now I take these two.
Okay, so this
specifically.
This is the way that the game works. And whoever gets 25 seeds wins.
All right.
Right? That's how it works. And there are possibilities in which you can stalemate.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now we will play IO.
All right.
And then we might just talk about the game, maybe conceptualize it, see like what we like about it, what we dislike about it. You know, that's what I'm thinking. So the way that IO is played is very, very different.
Okay.
And I like it too. It seems faster.
Were we just playing?
We were playing Owari.
Okay.
So now this one,
IO.
I'm going to pick up 4 seeds because that's what we start with.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go around. And then because this one still has seeds in it, I'm going to pick it up and keep going.
Okay. Still skipping the scores. You don't drop any in the score.
No, you don't drop any in the score.
Okay.
And I keep doing this until I land in an empty...
With your last?
In an empty one, and then I'm done. Now it's your turn. And the goal is to complete a house with 4 seeds in it. Once you do that, you take it.
Oh, okay. So if it has 3, you want it. Does it have to be your last seed?
No, it can just be any one of them. And you can do multiple houses in a turn.
Ah,
yeah.
This is where things get real interesting. That one there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is your house.
Okay.
And when you do that, you normally say house. Apparently, and then those go into your score.
And what do I do with these remaining?
You keep going.
Not in here.
Not in here. Here.
There.
Yep.
Ah, close.
Yep. So now I'm going to go.
And you capture that.
Take this house. Mm-hmm. And then I keep going.
Did I keep going after
I think you did.
Because I landed there, right?
Now
or did I land here?
I think you might. I don't remember.
All right, it's fine. We're just learning.
Yeah, we're learning here. We're having a good time.
So now I'm just going to try to do a grand slam. Oh, gosh. My hands are sweaty or something. Does that mean
You keep going.
Okay.
But now you'll stop.
Right?
But you did get another house. See how this one goes by?
It's satisfying.
It's very satisfying. It goes by a bit quicker.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, well, I guess, is there a way to set up the board where, like, because in the beginning, the first person moves and they just keep going because they all have 4 and it takes a while before you land on an empty one.
Yeah.
Is there ever, like, do you just set it up where all of those turns have happened or not? Because I know you can pick from any of your 6 houses.
From anyone, so then, you know. Okay. So I actually just took 2 houses.
Thank you.
For myself.
Did you punch something? Your knuckles are bleeding.
Valjean bit me.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, I'm serious. And I got another house.
Sorry, dude.
No, you're good. So now I'm done and it's your turn. So see, this goes back and forth until one of us gets, I think, 7 houses, right? Because you have to get more. Right? I wrote it down. Basically, the main difference between Ayo and Owari that I can see is that Owari, in that you don't have continuous seed movement. In this one, you do. Mm-hmm. Right? So every time that I pick up a seed, I drop them around. I sow them, as it said. Right? Mm-hmm. So I take one from my hand. I want to make it abundantly clear, just in case anybody's like, I do not get what they're talking about.
Okay.
So I pick up seeds from into my hand, and then I drop one in each. What's the word for that? Like just each next one, right?
Oh, each consecutive.
That's the word. That's the word.
Proximate.
Yeah, that each consecutive house after that, because they have little divots in this wooden board, right? Mm-hmm. And you're going around, and then when I drop them, if there's still seeds in whichever house my last seed lands in, I keep going. Yes. You know what? It's not like that. Mm-hmm. You just stop, right? And then in IO, you just keep going. Sometimes you capture by landing in a space and completing a house of 4. Sometimes you win by landing in a space with 1 or 2 seeds in it and taking 3 to 2 seeds. Mm-hmm. And then each previous one before that you can take, right? Okay. But another thing that I want to make clear is that if there are, a sequence where the one that your last seed landed in that had 1 seed in it, and then the one before that had 2 seeds in it, the one before that had 12 seeds in it, and the one before that had 2 seeds in it, you don't get to take the 4th one, I guess, right? Okay. You take the first 2 and then you go, oh, there's 12 in that one, I can't take that,
I see.
right? So that's basically how each one of these games goes. I think that it's beautiful. I think that it's fast.
Yeah.
It's fun, exciting.
Yeah, it is.
And depending on the game that you play, there's so much strategy to it.
Yeah.
And that's what I really enjoy about it. What do you think about it?
I liked it, man.
Yeah.
I think this could be, I think I liked IO the most, but
yeah,
that might have been because we played that the most. But also the rules in Kala, I don't know, is different.
Yeah.
This could be a fun game to just literally break out while we're eating lunch at the old boathouse.
Yeah, at our job.
Yeah.
And you just it's depending on the game that you're playing, right? I used to love playing Kala with my friends, and now I don't even want to play it.
Yeah, you're like, hey, there's better games.
Yeah, there's better games, and they're still Mancala. It's still fun and interesting.
Right. Same board.
Yeah, same board. And also, I'm so excited. I bought these seeds.
Okay.
Sometimes they're called knickernut seeds.
Okay.
Sometimes they're called, I think, boduk seeds.
Okay.
And they're what are used in Africa as the seeds that you play with. They're these little hard stone-looking seeds.
Okay, actual seeds.
Right. And I bought them, and I'm going to put them in this board, and I'm super excited about it. And they have these intricately carved, beautiful boards that I saw that can vary greatly in price. It's just like a chessboard, right?
Yeah.
And something that I'm curious about with this game is I don't know why it's not as big as I think it should be. Because I really, really love this game.
Yeah.
And, there's chess.
And
huge. Chess is ginormous. I mean, checkers is bigger than
definitely here in the States.
Yeah. And like in Africa and the Caribbean, this is, ginormous. And it brings tons of people together. And there's even some games that are played in like Hungary and stuff that are like this.
Yeah.
That they have tournaments for and stuff. There's something called the Oware Society. I found it online, and like you can look at their sanctioned tournaments, and you can see who's the best.
Really?
Like the best guy in India right now playing.
Wow.
Wario, I think is what they call it. But yeah, I'm super excited about this game, and yeah, dude, I just wanted to share it with you.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
We've had a tradition up to this point of reading reviews for the games that we've reviewed.
And that's not going to stop.
No, it's not. Yeah. But
it's going to stop today.
It's going to pause today. Because this is such a general, like Mancala.
That's like saying chess.
Yeah. I mean, even less specific.
Yeah.
Way more vague.
Yeah.
You described it as like saying playing cards.
Yeah. I mean, that is what I described it
as. And so there's the only reviews online for Mancala are specific to the type of boards that people bought, right?
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But we don't care about how cheap the seeds were in the board that Jameson bought,
Yeah.
So we're just going to skip that segment.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have a biggest beef moment?
Biggest beef moment with Mancala. Probably, I guess my biggest beef moment is that in the box of Mancala that I got, it didn't tell me that there was other ways that this game can be played.
Oh. It was just like, here's the instructions to Kala.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll call it Mancala, slap it on.
Yeah. And, that is a big beef.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that's something that, like, I kind of just had a big beef with society. Because I was like, this game is so, I mean, obviously, it's to my taste, right? This is one of those games that I recently found out, or not recently, but as of the past 5 years, have learned that anytime I try to teach my wife how to play a card game, she just cannot.
She does not care.
It's not that she doesn't care. She wants to care about a game that I care about. But the second that I start talking about it, she's like radio static. She's like, I just can't get it.
That makes sense.
And I don't know what it is about card games. They just bore her. Right?
Okay.
So I've tried to show her how to play Magic so many times.
Yeah.
Many times. But this is one of those games to where when I had it out and I was explaining it to her, she was like, I would want to play that
She's just intrigued.
And it was one of those, it like got me emotional because I love playing games.
Mm-hmm.
I love games. Okay. So I said that to not Justin.
Not me. You've said it to me and the folks at home before.
But I said it to the people at home.
Yeah. You thought it was important to reiterate.
It is important. And I love playing games. And I think that there's something about games. This is something that I want to study. Mm-hmm. I really want to study this and I want to talk about it on the podcast. But as of right now, it's probably going to be a really surface level thing. Games have been played for millions of years. Mm-hmm. We've all created our own games, with just like as kids.
Yeah.
Stupid games that make no sense.
I was thinking in my head today as I worked, I was like, at some point we're going to have to do like hide and seek and tag.
Yeah, dude.
Which are great games.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They are great games. The other day I was watching Insidious. Was it Insidious? I think so. No, it was The Conjuring. It was The Conjuring. And in The Conjuring, they play this game that is perfect for a horror movie, right? That was my phone buzzing. If you could hear it. If not, sorry.
If not,
but they play this game that is a perfect setup for a horror film.
Okay.
Where they played hide and seek, but they put a blindfold over their eyes.
Okay.
And then they could ask for like 3 claps.
Oh.
So they're walking through and then everybody claps and then you go toward that, right?
Yeah,
Imagine you can put 2 and 2 together as to how that could be scary, right?
Right. Yeah.
And so, you know, hide and seek, I mean, that's a weird way of just saying hide and seek is a good game, you know, but it is. I think the hide and seek is a good game. I like.
If you were to ask me my favorite like ancient games before today, because I just learned about Mancala.
Yeah.
I would probably say chess and hide and seek.
but yeah, we've been playing games as humanity. Probably before we were humanity, we were playing games. You figuring things out. I mean, birds play games. It's something so intrinsic to, I'll say, the human experience is sitting with somebody or on your own if you have solitaire, which could be fun, but sitting with somebody and duking it out. I mean, war is just a big game to a certain extent. Obviously, I don't think for the people
up top it is.
Well, I mean, I once read this thing that said like before World War I, war was just kind of a thing that world leaders would do because they were bored. And it was just like bully, good sport. I'll just bring a bunch of my boys out and we'll just kill each other.
I'll bring my boys and
it was just
yours.
Like a real life strategy war game that they would play, which I mean, that's,
I can see that.
Figure out the morality on your own terms. But that's something it's so intrinsic to the human experience. And I just want to know why. I want to know what it is about the human brain to where we're like, I need to set up pieces on a thing, whatever that thing is, and move them and then win.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I
want to present a challenge to myself and others and emerge victorious.
Yeah. And so, watching Law and Order SVU is fun and all with my wife, right? Like I like doing that.
Okay.
But every once in a while, like I yearn for like, I want to play a game with you, and sometimes chess can be a little bit too hard on the brain. Checkers is, a little bit too mind numbing for me, but this is just one of those beautiful games that is right in the middle. For me at this point in my life, Magic can kind of be like that.
Okay.
It's a little bit like it just tickles my brain enough that I know what I'm doing. Right.
Yeah. When I play I'm Magic, I'm still I have to think about everything a lot.
Yeah. And this is one of those games to where there's like, there's a lot of factors, but it's not like every single piece does something different. They all do the same thing, and you just have to put them in the right spot.
You just count and play.
I really, really love it.
Yeah.
This was a emblematic experience for me of like, wow, games are really important. And there's going to be episodes where we talk about really bad games. And those are probably going to be the funny ones.
Yeah.
This one wasn't as funny because I'm really serious about this.
And it is appalling that we just don't even. I mean, the fact that you learned about Mancala in school, is kind of mind blowing to me.
Really?
I mean, like, I don't know. If it weren't for Game Pigeon, I never would have heard of it.
Yeah.
And it's like in school, I don't know, maybe we did, and I was just busy, poking the girl's neck in front of me or whatever. But
yeah, I heard that in certain places of Africa, they use Mancala to teach students calculus.
Okay.
Which blew my mind because I don't even know what calculus is. And I listened to like an hour and a half long podcast about it, and I still didn't.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, if it's a game, we'll do it. Whatever it is. Just kidding.
Like today, we're talking about trigonometry. Yeah. Which trig is actually easy, but or it's an easy concept. Some people might not find it easy, but yeah, this game, it's just over the course of a day, it means so much to me.
That's cool.
That's something that happens to me all the time. I find little things and I'm like, this is the most important thing ever.
Latch onto it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. But yeah, last night I was in the same day that I did all this research. I was like, Sarah, I'm getting a new board, and I like looked stuff up, and the best boards that you can find are from Africa, so shipping is like $30. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna get a board yet, but I'm gonna get these seeds because they are awesome. Right?
Dude, I'm excited to see them.
I'm gonna bring them onto the podcast, and we're gonna show everybody what they look like.
Okay.
We'll explain them.
Describe them.
Yeah, describe them real good.
Yeah, that will never do it justice.
Yeah, no.
Not with our vocabulary.
So how about we knock our heads together and get a review out on this thing?
Yeah. So this will be a review for Kala specifically.
Okay.
On Board Game Geeks.
And it's going to be lower.
Yeah.
Because I think Kala's a bad game. How about we rate it lower than we would rate the rest of them?
We'll rate it for Kala, but in the review we'll talk about everything else.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Kala out of 10 stars.
The thing is, is that there's a little bit of politics that go on here. Which seems, hear me out, okay?
I think I know where you're going.
I want people to read the review so that they go get it and play the other games.
Yeah.
Because that low reviews get pushed all the way to the bottom.
Sometimes. I don't know how it is on Board Game Geek, but like when I'm looking for reviews for the podcast, even if I see something with 1 or 2 or even 3 stars, even when I was looking for reviews for this, if it didn't have 5 stars, I would kind of skim through it because I was like, okay, well, I want to know what the problem is then.
Yeah, that's the thing that's the reason why I have that's one of the reasons why I think that giving a game 5 stars mindlessly is, it's just not, I don't want to, say anything about somebody, but saying that a game is 5 stars means that there's nothing wrong with the game. It is a perfect
It's more than a game.
It's more than a game, just like Pilot.
Yeah. Just like Red Wazoo or whatever.
Yeah, I think that was his name. I miss him.
So, yeah, he's a good guy. So, that is something that I agree with. And I think I've always kind of felt that way, but recently it's become a lot more serious because whether or not anyone is listening to this, I'm publicly rating and reviewing games.
We're putting our name.
Yeah, so we're not just going to be thrown out.
Yeah.
In fact,
5 left and right.
Before we do this is technically the correction segment, but this is a good time to tell you about because we mentioned a game that's the highest rated board game, quote unquote. Yeah. It's Gloomhaven.
Yes. So, and I said something similar to that. I think I literally said
Gloom
something like that. Yeah. But Gloomhaven is the highest rated game on Board Game Geek, right?
Yes.
Which is like
which is where we're finding it's a good resource.
Yeah, it's a great resource for us.
So, but its rating out of 10 stars is 8.453.
Really?
And that makes me think, because we gave Stratego an 8. Yeah. Right? The Stratego rating for...
you found it?
I found it for Board Game Geek. Let me tell you, because Gloomhaven is the number 1 rated board, right? Yeah. Stratego is the... sorry, I'm everywhere right
because
now.
I asked for this. I was like, I wonder if we could find...
Yeah. So
that's
Stratego,
awesome, dude. Tell me.
There's a bunch of different versions. Yeah. The highest rated version, the one that we rated.
Can I guess?
Well, I have the ranking, its ranking, and its rating.
I can't. There's no way I can guess its ranking.
Okay.
Because I don't know how many games.
Do you want me to tell you? That'll inform you.
Yeah, tell me.
2,767.
Really?
Yeah.
You can't see it, but my eyebrows are. I'm in shock.
Yeah.
I'm like. What?
So it's down there. I know there's a lot of board games out there, but 2,700 is a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. Well, I mean, but Stratego is not. I mean, it's a good game.
I know, and we gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, maybe we should be a little bit harsher about our games.
Yeah, probably. But hey, that's fine. This is a lesson we have to learn. You know?
Yeah.
Valjean, exactly. Don't chew on that rug.
It looks like a burger, but I swear it's not.
Hey, my brother made that rug for my wife, so I don't want that. Well, where's your toy? Give me your toy. All right, so do you want to guess the rating on BoardGameGeek.com?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to guess. Can we do like a higher lower thing, or do I just... Okay, yeah. 5.
Higher.
That's good. 6.275.
Lower.
5.894.
5.980.
Okay, so
you're pretty close
6.
On the third guess.
It's like basically
6. Yeah. Well, that's the website. The average rating is 6.11.
Okay, so a little higher.
15,097 voters.
I wonder why. I wonder if it's talking about. I mean, because reviews cover a multitude of things. You know, sometimes they're talking about the quality.
Yeah. The quality.
It just depends.
Yeah. It might not be the game in general, but But that's by far the most commonly rated and highest rated Stratego game. So
interesting. That's wild.
Doesn't get better than that.
So if we're talking about Kala, which I mean, are we rating a specific Kala board?
It's hard to tell.
Because I don't care what the board is. I just care about the game.
Yeah. It is a specific one, but there's 6.6 thousand ratings.
Well, this is the one that's rated the most.
I think this is the highest rated Mancala type game.
Okay. So
we'll do that. Out of 10 stars.
Out of 10 stars. What would you rate it? Don't let anything that I said before this bias your answer. Even though I said many very meaningful
here's
things.
The thing. I played 3 games today.
You did.
I know which one I liked the most.
Which one?
IO.
Okay. I should say that I watched many different tutorials on how to play IO, because when you look up how to play these games,
you can get a
wide variety, and also like 2002 formatted websites where it's like a translucent, you know, they added a table to a Microsoft Word document. Yeah, and in the background it's like the same picture, like over and over and over and over and over. So like while you're reading it, it's kind of like one of those like inner eye thing. What are those called? Like secret eye puzzles? Did you ever do those?
Yeah.
It's like one of those where you're just like, I can't even read anything. So I started watching videos, and some IO games are played the same way, where you drop your seeds and you keep going around, but instead of making groups of 4, you score the same way that you score in a wade, by ending your last one on one that has 2 or 1.
Okay.
On a house that has 2 or 1 seeds already in it.
Okay.
And I just thought, for the sake of this, by differentiating them enough would make it a little bit more interesting. But just letting you know that if you have played IO and you're like, hey, that's not how it's played, there's so many different ways that these games are played. So I just wanted to claim that.
That's
and also,
probably
go on.
The main thing we learned today is that Mancala is a type of game, and there are millions of variations.
Yeah, there's a lot. So many. And Mancala isn't a game. You know, so that's the thing that I learned that kind of blew my mind, because I was always saying to people, hey, do you want to play Mancala? And I was being stupid. Just kidding. There's no way I could have known. But yeah. So what would you rate it?
That's tough, man. You know what is... It's maybe equally, if not more, affecting how I think about this right now. Is just seeing the difference between our rating of Stratego.
Yeah.
So,
but are we worried about the way that the masses rate games, or are we worried about how we rate games?
How we rate games.
Exactly.
But I'm still worried about it.
I know, but also we need to think about board games are going to get a different rating than a video game
than every other
to
game.
Us.
Really?
Because board games are for a different time. That's the thing that is a little bit tricky about having a podcast about games in general, is that we're using the same rating system across all of them.
Yeah.
Right? But they mean different things for different games.
Yeah, definitely.
And games mean different things. Things mean things. And so when I talk about playing a Mancala game, I'm thinking about having a chill afternoon. You know, just hanging out. I would even want to play this outside on a summer day.
Yeah.
Just in the like if I was playing this as a kid, I'd just put it in the dirt and just play.
It's a hangout thing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But not the same hangout as getting with your buddies and playing
FaceTime.
Halo 2. And just going on to World Create and making a stupid world and jumping around and being stupid.
That's very different.
Completely different games,
but it's even...
Go on.
It's even different because we talked about the same thing on the Phase 10 episode. It's even different from that because this game is first of all, you're doing math, which is good. It's activating your brain in that way and strategically. But also, it just feels more I don't know, rustic, ancient. It's just it's a physical thing.
Yeah. I mean, the action of doing it is called sewing. You're sewing seeds.
It's way cooler than using this, Uno cards or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I think for me, it got a little more simple when I asked myself, what would I rate it out of 5 stars? I think I do 3.
Okay.
But I think out of 10, I'd probably do 7 instead of 6, maybe.
Okay.
The thing is, Kala is different from IO.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my first thoughts.
Okay. I think that 7 is a good rating for Kala.
Okay.
And then, for IO, what would you rate it?
The thing is, it's better, but it's the same type of game.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if it'd be a full star up or not.
Yeah. The thing is that between, I would probably give it an 8.
Okay.
But because there's no 7.5.
Yeah.
And because, I'm not the only person in this podcast, I'm not just going to be well, it's an 8, though.
Yeah.
So I think that 7 is a good rating.
Okay.
But I just want the people at home to know that I probably rated it a little higher.
All right.
But that's that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
And if I rated it a 9 and you rated it a 7, we'd probably go to 8.
Yeah.
But because it's 1 point,
if it was more cut and dry,
7.5.
Yeah.
So
we don't got all day to figure it out, No. So, all right, let's do 7. Good. Usually willing to play. That's what it says.
That's true.
Status own. Now it's time to write the review. I'm going to be leaning on you for this one.
Okay.
Because I do want to mention the other versions.
Yeah.
Let's start with Kala. Don't autocorrect. Is a Mancala type game.
It's fun to learn. Easy to play. And activates the math part of your brain.
The math part of your brain.
If you've played Kala, you probably learned it in school. And that's true. Most people that I've talked about learned this game in school. I'm not just lying, okay? You probably learned it in school. Is now when I just go right into it? Or do you want to talk about Kala a little bit more?
I don't know, because talking about Ayo and Aware, it's like, it's kind of all talking about the same thing. So
yeah,
it would, if we went right into a different type of game, it would kind of send the message that like, yeah, Kala is fun. There's better ways to play.
I mean, I was even going to say like the way that Kala is set up is a fixed game.
Oh, okay.
You know, like talk about that.
I like that.
Okay. So
I'm going to type
the rules of Kala.
Okay.
The rules of Kala create a game that is quote unquote fixed. Meaning, if both players play perfectly, the first player will always win. You can write that down, right? You got it.
Fixed. Meaning, if both players play perfectly.
He's got it, guys.
Which we did.
Which we did. Are you writing that?
The player, no. The player to play first, to make the first move, will always win.
Yeah. This might not be an issue for you.
Yeah. If you can't figure out.
Yeah.
This might not be an issue.
If you're not at our level.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah.
Should I say we wanted to mention? Or I wanted to mention?
There are other options.
There are other options. There are other kinds of Mancala games.
There are other options with this same setup.
Yeah, with the same board and pieces.
Board and pieces that might tickle your fancy.
Ooh.
That might tickle your fancy even deeper.
Wow. I didn't know that fancies were tickled
on a level of depth.
Yeah.
Even deeper. We're putting it in.
Oh, you put it in.
Okay. For example.
Yep. For example.
I'm gonna do a new paragraph.
Oh.
For example, we're going in, dude.
Done. For example, Aware and Ayo.
Aware and Oware. AYO. Okay.
Are both African Mancala games that are much more complex.
Okay.
And
not fixed.
And are definitely not fixed. These games are played by millions of people across the world.
Okay.
And
our hold on. We need to and are fun to learn and easy to play.
Yep. Gotta put the repetition in there.
Yeah. Easy to play.
We recommend you try these games as well as Kala.
Yeah, you try all 3
games mentioned above.
And more.
Yeah, and more Mancala style games.
Mancala style games.
We went into more depth.
We went into more detail regarding the history and differences between a selection of Mancala type games on our podcast. Free game.
Available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or whatever.
I'll just say that.
Okay.
Podcast on free, our podcast free game.
Okay. Awesome.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
That's it, man. Pretty good.
Now that we have that out of the way, I just wanted to mention something really fast that my brother texted me.
Okay.
I think is really funny.
Just now or?
Just now.
Okay.
Well, he texted it to me an hour ago, but I was busy.
We were recording the podcast.
But then he talked to me after that, right? So he said, have I told you about my free pizza scheme I got going on with that Domino's we used to live next to?
Okay.
And I said, no. Then he said, it's hard to pinpoint when it started, but every time I order a pizza from Domino's, I get a free medium pizza because, quote unquote, the order was late, even though it's never late and has been consistently good.
Okay.
He said, I'm thinking it's because I started tipping $5 on these free pizzas because I'm not sure exactly what is going on, but I'm pretty sure the scheme is I tip high and the delivery guy gets me a free pizza.
Okay.
This has been going on for like 4 months, Holden. It is so rad. I have like $10. I saved like $10 every time. So I said, do you mind if I say this on my podcast? And he said, go ahead. And then he sent me a picture of an email. It says Domino's Pizza. That delivery was not what we hoped it would be. So here's an offer to make it up for you.
What?
When it came perfectly on time, he said, I think they start the delivery timer before they even start leaving or something. I live like 3 minutes away from them. And they do. It's literally right next to their house. So I think that the people know, because he must get pizza all the time.
Yeah.
I think that the people at Domino's know we're making money off of, the guy's getting a tip, right?
Yeah.
So the delivery driver gets a tip. And so he just says that it's late.
Oh, wow.
Ethan doesn't say that it's late. My brother doesn't say that it's late.
Yeah, that was my first question.
Yeah, no, he never complains. He's not lying to
me. Yeah.
They're just saying, sorry that was late. Here's a free pizza.
Wow.
I can guarantee you that it costs Domino's less to manufacture a pizza than $5.
Mm-hmm.
But Ethan's saving because like medium pizzas aren't cheap.
Right.
They're like $15 now.
Yeah.
I just thought that
and the driver is getting a nice tip every time.
Exactly.
And he has a short trip.
Yeah. So Ethan just
with a hot
never
pie.
has to buy pizzas now.
That's
which
amazing,
is ridiculous. I want that.
That's hilarious.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
I was like, I think that this will be a really great way to first explain how my brother be, you know?
Yeah. We'll have him on sometime, this is a good precursor.
But yeah, I just like how he called it a scheme.
Yeah.
Because he's not scheming.
Because he didn't do anything.
Yeah. He's a part of a scheme.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's great. I'm very glad you shared that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a good way to tie up the episode.
Yeah.
Because it's so relevant.
Yeah.
So I have a question for you.
Okay.
And then we're going to, depending on your answer, we're just going to end the podcast or we'll go into more things.
Talk about more stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we reveal the game of choice of the topic of our next episode of the Free Game Podcast?
No. But we just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas. You know, it's the holiday season. Things are totally crazy right now, but we just hope that you guys' holiday is filled with peace and happiness. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope that whatever holiday you do celebrate is full of love and joy, and that you surround yourself with the people that you love. So,
I second that.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
I totally second that. Merry Christmas, everybody. Christmas is very soon, but if you have the chance, or if you're, hopefully you have some time off work, if that will extend far enough out, get yourself a Mancala board.
Yeah.
And it will make,
that expensive,
they're not, and it will make this episode make a lot more sense, first of all. Second of all, if you don't like any of these games that you can find your own or make up your own using the same seeds and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a great family game, a great game for kids learning to count and stuff.
Yeah.
Who have already learned how to count and could use some practice.
Yeah, and have hands big enough to hold.
Like yours truly.
Yeah. And also, if any of this didn't make sense, I apologize. And I would just say, look up a Mancala board and just think about the things that I said, and you'll get it. Yeah. I mean, it's a very simple thing. I'm sure that if you just look it up and go, oh, those are the houses.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that just makes sense, you know? So,
some things will click.
I wanted to say that, but yeah. Goodbye,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.